In this particular video, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to educate, some of the world or some of the people out there that you don't always need oxygen sensors, or rarely do you ever need oxygen sensors when you get a code that says that you need an oxygen, or your parts house says you need an oxygen sensor. This particular scenario, the customer brought it to me, and she was told that she needed 4 oxygen sensors, which was right around $600 to $800 an oxygen sensor, depending on what type of oxygen sensor you put in the vehicle. Um, I just want people to know out there that when you go to a parts house, to have them scan your vehicle and try to educate you in the way by just telling you, hey, you need this part. I understand there's, not a lot of master techs out there, a lot of shops that you can depend on, a lot of people you can't depend on. But take it to a professional. Let them check it out for you. I've been doing this for 38 plus years as a master certified technician, and this customer is just blown away by where she almost spent what she told me was around $800 in oxygen sensors to have put on her vehicle, and was told by somebody else who referred her to me to let me check it out first for regular diagnostics. Diagnostics are very important when it comes to diagnosing a vehicle. If she'd have stuck to what the parts house said, she'd have been out $800 and would not have a vehicle running properly like it should have been. This vehicle had lean codes in it, rich codes in it. Either one of them doesn't mean you need an oxygen sensor. If it says it is running rich or it's running lean, that actually means that the oxygen sensors are actually working, that you have another problem. Could be anything, any type of unmetered air getting into the vehicle, or you could have injectors starting to stick open to make it run rich, um, lean. Either way, if you get a code that says you're running rich, you're running lean, that is telling you that the oxygen sensors are actually working. So enjoy the video. If you don't, you don't. Either way, I'm just trying to help educate some of the people on trying to believe in parts houses to diagnose their vehicles, and then showing up at a shop somewhere with a handful of parts and say, hey, put them on there, and get all bent out of shape when it doesn't fix the vehicle. Enjoy. All right, I'm going to try to reset the fuel trims on this bad boy. The ALDL doesn't crap out on me. The online data link is messed up on here, so we're going to reset this. Our goal is to try to get these long-term fuel trims, get these fuel trims back down. Both of these long-term fuel trims, we want to get these to 0. We're going to reset them and set these two back to 0. This is what we want to do. So we're going to reset them. Okay, all right, they're at 0 now. Now we're going to escape. Then we're going to take a look at the fuel trim. Let's just stay right here. Live data, engine live data, and we're going to look at the fuel trim data. The car's not running, it's sitting here at engine run. Okay, all our fuel trims are set to 0. We're going to hit these trims here, and this is what we want to see. We want to see these fuel trims and watch what happens when we start the car. So here we go. We're going to start it. Let's see what the fuel trims do. Hang on a second. I want to do something else here. I'm going to go back and see if I can look at the closed loop. Where is she? Fuel trim. These guys, and I want to see if we can we see a loop status. Loop status is open. Now this is what we want to see. I want to see the loop status. Right now engine's going to stay in open loop until the computer feels ready. Once she goes into closed loop, our fuel trim should take over. We're going to see if our long-term fuel trims start climbing again. Let me give a little gas. There, she's in closed loop. Let's see what our fuel trims start doing. These are our long-term fuel trims. The short terms on the top. Short terms are capping out, so long terms are compensating. Well, they're not capping out just yet, but long-term fuel trim is already starting to shoot up. So we've definitely got something convincing that these oxygen sensors are running lean. Let's see, we're at 15, 16, 17. We're going to cap out at 25 again. Let's give it some gas. This is in closed loop. Fuel trims are trying to stabilize long term at 7. Okay, here we go. 21, 20. All right, boom. And we're going to cap out. I do hear an exhaust leak, so that may be contributing to these fuel trims going crazy here. Yeah, they're capped out already now, so we're gonna look at the graph. Just slow them down a little bit. Put this back. This must be long. Yeah, those are long-term fuel trims. Okay, and we're looking at long-term fuel trims at 10, 11. Short terms are trying to climb. Let's reduce these back. Now long terms are at 0. I'm thinking this may be a mass airflow issue. And they cap out when we go back to idle. Let's see if we can take a look at the mass airflow real quick. Let's look at engine data. Engine data 1. So we can find mass airflow on here. Let's we got map. Okay, so let's go look at engine data 2. Engine data 2, thank you. Started, and there we go, mass airflow. Ooh. Well, there's one issue right there. Mass airflow should be, for measuring, let's measure these in grams. That'll be better. Oh well, fuck. Mass airflow. Existing. Let's go here. Okay, now I'm looking at grams per second. Okay, there we go. She's back to normal. Frequency is. Oh. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's go back. Back. Okay, great. Awesome scan tool. This is just fucking great. Oh, fuck it. Also wanted to show you right now, here's the short, these are percentages without the oscilloscopes on to where you can see them, but also your loop status is in closed loop right now, and you're running a very lean engine. I'll see what I can do about resetting that. Alright, I'm going to show you right here what we're looking at. Right here, these numbers right here, 25 and 25. You're maxed out on the long-term fuel trim, which I'll try to explain that to you. These are your short-term fuel trims, where as this adjusts, it adjusts this. But you can see right here, your oxygen sensors are working. Okay, so don't think that you need 4 oxygen sensors. I'm gonna give it a little gas, and you'll see it change. Your fuel, see, you've got a lean mix. Something's going on there. It could be injectors, it could be mass airflow, it could be a number of things, but your oxygen sensors are working, and we need to try to get these long-term fuel trims down. They're staying at 25. They're not even trying to adjust. And your short-term fuel trims are at 0, which is expected with the long terms up that high. I can try to explain this to you, but I wanted you to see that you don't need oxygen sensors. They're doing their job. Now, I don't know if we got the first one. We definitely got an intake leak on both sides of the intake. Got them over here, fluid pouring out of between the engine block and the intake. This thing is capping out on long-term fuel trims at 25. Short-term fuel trims are trying to stay zeroed out, and they're doing pretty good, but both sides of this intake are leaking smoke, a lot of smoke. So what we're doing here is we have a smoke machine on here that if we see pressure building up in here, it means that it's holding pressure. If we see flow meter drop down on here, it means that everything's nice and tight here, but we do not have a nice and tight engine. Also, the wires going to the throttle position sensor here needs a new connector put on here. So this connector is nothing but broken wires and oil soaked cracked sheathing. We had a problem with the OBD2 connector. Pull it down. Basically, I think all it was going to be is that it actually just needed to be cleaned up, because now I've disconnected it and hooked up a breakout to it just to see if I've lost any communication on anything, and it seems to be pretty good. Before I plugged my OBD2 Bluetooth VCM in here, and I had to put something underneath this brake pedal to push it up to make it stay on, and I don't like doing that to my scan tool, so we needed to fix this first, but it looks like it was just dirty. So far, that's the problems I've gotten. We've gotten a lean code mix, of course, banks 1 and banks 2. We've also got some type of terminal ground issue, which off of the alternator, which may be just something going on inside the alternator. I need to try to do some locating on that and see what's going on here. But anyway, there's your smoke leak, your vacuum leak. You need a new intake and gasket. And as far as the wiring goes, I think we're good.